And welcome everyone to the final game of this Coast East 6-a-side league game between the Halifax Pirates and the Dartmouth Golden Eagles. Should be a good one. This is a battle for who is going to finish in the second spot, as the Fall River Dragons did tie today earlier with the Sac Vegas Goons, but since they already won 3 games, they already secured the first and final seed. Now this is a battle of who will finish second in this league. We are located here on the Wickwire Field and located on the Dalhousie campus. First game was fairly entertaining. It did result in a tie at 18-all. A little bit of discrepancy on what the score was, but we confirmed a few people it was 18-all. And it went back and forth to the wire. You have to love that a team like the Sac Vegas Goons was able to compete and get ready as we start off with the first snap of this final game between Dartmouth and Halifax. Trying to go the opposite end. No good, and there's a little bit of daylight and space available for the Pirates. Can they go all the way and tackled out of bounds? But what an effort from Dion Thomas Hodges II. Check that. Marcus Nixon. As you'll see on the replay, you thought he was going to get wrapped up here initially and made a cut up towards the middle near the right sideline. And look at that young man rumble. Already threatening to score in the opening minutes of this first quarter. Here comes a snap and a pitch out to the left side. They go back to Nixon once more and wrapped up quite nicely by Lorenz McDonald. See on the replay just a little bit of pitch out to the left and able to shed the blockers defensively. And a good wrap up. Romero Jarmarsh. See what they come out with the formation. Do have one center. A trips look to the left. Running back also to the left. Looks that way. Trying to make a short pass. They were trying to go to a quick play to the center who snapped it. As it go back to Hull regroup, 3rd down. Again, those who are tuning in, just to give a shout to the rules. In case you're wondering, it is a 4-down football league. There are no punts. Instead, if they don't go for on 4th down, the ball changes possession. The ball gets moved to the 40-yard line. So it's essentially you go for it no matter what. Then a quick pass out to the slat to the right and a tackle again and still short of the sticks. So this is a early 4th down, and who is going to win the battle? A couple other notes to make as you'll see the replay is that the QB can't run unless pressured and has to run the outside the pocket, not the middle. So last game that we saw against the Fall River Dragons in the Sac Vegas Goons, there's a lot of times if it do get pressure up the middle, the quarterback has to either go to the outside, to the left, or right, depending on what's available. And again, as you saw there, if you play a go, the center is an eligible receiver. But if they have 2 offensive linemen, so a guard and a center, the guard is not eligible to be a receiver. As a quick handoff, and that is into the end zone for 6. Early touchdown going to the Halifax Pirates. You'll see the replay again, another handoff to Nixon. And that's the first score of the game. So the Golden Eagles down. Here's the 2-point try, no extra points, and another quick pass over to Nixon. Has a few blockers and some space, goes, but there is a penalty. And the majority of the time that is going to be a holding more than likely. The referees did rule it short of the stick, so probably decline this penalty, and it will result in a negative try that will not result in points. So we should be at 6-0, which we are. As you see in the replay, that lovely laundry that littered the field. And this time around, we'll have the look at the Dartmouth Golden Eagles. Didn't talk about records, but both teams, as they are fighting for second place, as we reiterated several times, both have a 1-2 record. That is 2 points. There is an overtime in these games, but no one has lost in overtime. Initially, the first game earlier this afternoon, the conditions were a little bit windy. We were feeling it here in the broadcast booth. Well, not even in a booth. We're to the left side of the booth, out exposed the elements. But it's a cooler night, but no wind, so it should be prime time level of football here for 6-6. Good opportunity to stretch the field with some long, deep passes. Alexander Dalton to kick off. The return man is Vantaz Beals. Takes it, has a little bit of space. Missed tackle there, and a good play the outside, and no one's able to catch him all the way. Can he go down to the 30, the 20, the 10? Touchdown. What a kickoff return for a touchdown. But there is, I believe, some stoppage to the play. Well, we'll have to see the replay of this, but what a move. You can see the tackle that was missed here running into his own teammate, and that opened up the floodgates for a kickoff return. And put on the Jets, the afterburners, whatever you want to call it. And so I guess they are taking a touchdown off the board, and they're going to re-kick this. Must have been a penalty or something reinforced. Yep, so that is not a touchdown, and it will just be a penalty and take it all the way back, and we'll start. It looks like at the opponent's 50, and a timeout taken quickly here at the Wickwire Field. some discussion going on. Starting quarterback for the Dartmouth Golden Eagles, number 10, Renez Monroe. Romero Jamarsh as a wide receiver lined up to the bottom of your screen. Do have a center back. 2 receivers on the right and left side. Has options. A sidearm throw completed. Down to the running back and a tackle after a gain of a few. And this is what's about being a quarterback, no matter if it's 6-on-6 football, 11-11 football, 12-on-12 football. Just find the easy completion and get 5 to 10 yards. I'm always going to use some NFL comparisons, but Tom Brady made a living at taking the check down and taking what's given to you. And when the shots are available and almost fumbled, and the pressure is coming and going to have to make a run with it, does have plenty of space and tackled by the shoelaces and down near about the 30. See the replay. The bobble catch propelled his momentum forward, and he was getting chased down from behind from a defensive lineman and finally falls, but not after getting the first down. Good play by Monroe to extend and go up the middle, as that would be considered an illegal move in this 6-on-6 league. One aspect of this, too, that is good is that this league does allow celebrations. Some leagues are a little harsher on that as well. Takes a deep shot, has to try to come back for it, and good deflection. Last second to get that away. Was slightly underthrown, and we'll see it here better on the replay. Monroe does take the snap, looked to the left initially, then thought he had a good matchup on the right side and defended well. But again, the wide receiver is running out a little bit of space to try to haul that in. A lot of time for Monroe back there and throws again. Another check down, this time to the center. And tackled fairly quickly. This is a good sportsmanship between the two. We'll see on the replay. Tackle made by Jonathan Baker on the big center number 63. You could see that the center actually was going down as the hit was coming. Made an executive decision on not to try to take a hit below the knees. Substitution in for the Golden Eagles. Fortunately, folks, we do have a roster sheet in front of us, but we don't have all the exact numbers, so we're not going to take guesses, but we'll provide you the names with the numbers that we do have. Monroe back, takes a deep shot, sidearm fling, and is that ruled a touchdown? They are celebrating as a touchdown, so that is good, pretty close. It was near the out of bounds, and we'll take a better look at it here from Monroe. Had a long time to throw, then finally chucks it and caught. Play made by Noah Wells to get it now a tie game at 6-all. See if we'll get a complete two-point conversion. Monroe, pressure comes, makes a throw, and through the hands. Two-point try is no good, so still have a tied game here in the first quarter. We have two offensive drives by both teams, and both have resulted in scores. We'll see the replay. The pressure definitely affected that throw as it was just too far up ahead. And that's what you do in that situation. What I've noticed through the last games is that strategically you have defenses that are going to send an extra blitzer to try to get the ball out of the hands of the quarterback, and that's just smart play. It takes a lot of experience to be able to set your feet even with pressure incoming, be able to throw a perfectly placed ball just a little too far, as you saw in that last replay. And kicking off are the Golden Eagles. It'll give another chance for the Halifax Pirates to add to this lead. Again, this field is a soccer field that usually typically the men's and women's soccer team use, and so it has to be adapted a little bit to fit the needs of the athletes here. You see some cones that give you some signal to out of bounds lines at the very top of your screen, and here is a move for the Pirates. Some tacklers coming, decides to turn it upfield, makes a few moves, still does not go down, finally wrapped up around close to the 55-yard line near center field. And they do use NFL kickoff rules for this 6-on-6 league. And because of the 6 players on the field and the amount of space they have, it makes kick returns that much more exciting. We saw that on the first kickoff the Golden Eagles took that we thought was actually a kickoff return but was called back. Similar formation that we've seen a few times from the Pirates. They usually have 3 receivers on the left side. They might go screen on this particular play. They do, and just a little too low, and that has to be frustrating if you're the Pirates. As Mekhi Hill, you could tell by the formation they had 2 blockers up in front, and the pass all the way down at the shoe level. And it's tough for the receiver. And a lot of people go, how can you not deliver on a pass that way? Well, the simplest passes sometimes in football tend to be the most difficult, and you sometimes underestimate how much power you actually need to put into that throw, even if it's just a simple throw to the flat. Second down, throw, delivered, and caught, and wrapped up pretty quickly for a gain of about 4 to 5. And after that initial completion in the drive, there was a simple completion. Found a crosser. Third down. Some waggle pre-snap, and immediately a blitzer is coming. Throw, and that is a wide open man, but dropped by Nixon. Nixon, who did have the touchdown on the first drive, a rushing touchdown, a simple inside zone play, dropped a wide open pass. So there's a couple of mistakes here just in these first few downs that put them in a 4th and manageable. And so now we head into the second quarter with a tie game. Just to recap what happened in the first quarter, we had the first score of the day belonging to Marcus Nixon, who ran it in for a touchdown. They weren't successful on the 2-point try. And on the ensuing kickoff, we thought there was a kickoff return that got called back, but it did not matter for the Golden Eagles. They went all the way down, and it was a nice touchdown throw from Renez Monroe all the way to Noah Wells, the receiver, for 6. They also did not complete 2-point try, and that is how you have this tie game at 6-all. have a few players left over from the game. We have Josh Frazier's actually managing some of the sticks, who plays for the Sac Vegas Goons. That's early incompletion. A bit of jabs going on here after that incompletion. Might be a brief recess before they reset. Monroe back. Receiver. There's an option to come back, not good, and then finally able to locate one. And a good group tackle. You have Matthew Valachi coming in to get it, and you see Monroe caught the snap with one hand before delivering a strike. Here's a snap from Monroe. Monroe takes a look. Plenty of time, patience, no one coming after him. Finally finds an open receiver, is able to get separation. That's a big chunk yardage completion. Monroe to Jamarsh, who came back in after looking like he was hobbled for a moment. And this is the problem with 6-on-6 football. You have no one coming in. You give a quarterback that much time to complete something that's more like money. And so far, Monroe has been very sharp under center. And that snap over the head of Monroe, but Monroe does have time to pick it up. Great composure, fakes to the left, able to fake out one defensive lineman, decides going to make a run for it, and gets through feet. People, what a spin move, still on his feet. Monroe, are you kidding? And finally shoved out of bounds. Monroe making magic out of absolutely nothing. The snap goes way over his head. You didn't see it there, but he makes a move here. Stiff arms another guy, spins out of a tackle. Impressive. And then a penalty flag coming in on the play here. Or maybe that's out of bounds line. Does look like a flag from up here. Nope, that is a flag. So there was some extracurricular going on. Thought maybe it could have been a late hit. But actually, no, it's driving back the Golden Eagles. You know, not only is this football going on here in late April, the Coastal Elite Six Aside League, you have the NFL going through the draft right now. Just had the first round last night in rounds 2 and 3. So if you're a football fan, you not only can be enjoying this matchup, but you're currently watching on the YouTube live stream produced by Maritime Athletic Profiles. You have that on as well. Seen actually a lot of NFL fans today. I went to stop by to take a break after the first game, and I saw a lot of people with New York Giants shirts on. And that was offensive to me as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, if you ever follow the football and know the rivalries between these teams. It did take a little bit here, a stoppage in play, because there again was a penalty. Looks like they were trying to sort out who goes against it. Still a first down for the Golden Eagles. Monroe, been decisive, tactical, magical at times, and making plays out of nothing, and decides to take the check down pass, but a little bit too far out of head. And Monroe did have the time to throw it, and there was a little bit of space, but the coverage was fairly tight, as you can see there, and that would have had to been Just not even half a foot to get right in the catch radius. Defensively, only one safety back for the Pirates. One defensive lineman there to have a center. Two receivers on both sides. There is a move. And again, just misfire. Now you move it to a 3rd down for Monroe in this offense. Monroe with the snap. 3rd down. Takes a shot, and again, trying to go for a similar route pattern for the wide receiver, and could not connect with Noah Wells, who caught the opening touchdown for the Eagles, courtesy from Monroe. On the replay, just a little too much of it. So now we're in a 4th down situation, and you know they're going to drop a play that has to get to the sticks, or else it'll be turnover on downs, and the Halifax Pirates will take over. Monroe with a snap. And no one there, throw down the middle. It results in the Halifax Pirates taking it over after an initial good start from Monroe. A couple of empty passes in those 4 throws. The penalty negated some of the play that he had earlier, which was a snap that went over his head, and he was able to run away all the way down for 1st down close to the goal line. But due to the penalty, it backed them up, still was a 1st down, and a few incompletions, and now you have the Pirates taking over an offense looking to go back-to-back drives with points. For the Golden Eagles, it looks like they have 2 defensive linemen out there that may bring some pressure, but they might try to drop them back in zone initially too. That's a great open field tackle for a loss. There was absolutely no chance there. I believe Aiden Marshall with the carry. And this is how you wrap up someone. They were not fooled by a second. Great crash down by the corner. And that's a loss of 4. And the Pirates defense stood strong, forced that turnover and downs. Can the Golden Eagles defense give the same break for their offense? And there was a deep shot down the middle, and there was a little bit of a push there from the receiver. They're never usually going to call offensive pass interference, but you could see that coverage was absolutely read like a book by Romario Jarmarsh, who's also a wide receiver. And there was no chance of this being completed. Jarmarsh was all on top of that. Did have some late help that probably was not going to matter. Some confusion from the quarterback, and is just going to send a side throw over. And you could tell from Hill initially was trying to look somewhere to the left. Nothing developed there and went to Aiden Marshall. So he thought maybe there's a pitch play, or that could have been by design. But you could tell Hill didn't quite sell it as properly as he should have. And both teams, so again, folks, just to those tuning in, the center is eligible as a receiver as long as there's not another offensive lineman on the field for either team. And we've seen the Golden Eagles and the Pirates try to do that, but they have to try something else, and that might be the key, is to have a center have some trickery. Look like they're going for a block, then go 5 yards out, then have an out route or an in route to try and confuse the defense. As it does look like we'll have another changing of the field. So 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Snap a little bit low initially. Here's a shot down deep and cannot come up with it for the Golden Eagles. So after an emptyless drive by the Halifax Pirates, the old Golden Eagles will have a chance to add points. Yeah, they take over at the 40. Not much time left. This will be the last drive more than likely for either team. Different look at quarterback. Mitch Tufts, and as a quarterback, almost lost the snap again. That has been a little bit of an issue for the Golden Eagles on 3. And that is a wide open completion. A good tackle, but not after crossing over into Halifax Pirate territory. Good completion from Tufts all the way to Monroe, who instead of playing quarterback is a receiver this time. Maybe a good move by the coaching staff to get him more involved. And the snap was behind him again and gets taken for loss, fighting for the football. And Tufts finally come up with, but not after a major loss of close to 20 yards. Wow. And again, the snaps, as we've talked about for the Golden Eagles, that's at least 3 to 4 snaps that we've seen that have gone over the quarterback's head. And everything they do here is shotgun. So it is a second and forever, it feels like. And it seems like what they're going to do is do a traditional under center snap instead of the shotgun snap. And that's clean. And a quick little pass over. There's a lot of space for Jamarsh. He might be able to get it all back in one go and gets the first down on a drop-off pass play that you wouldn't think would result in nothing. This is just a simple catch and dump. And that allowed Jamarsh to go all the way for a first down. And sometimes it doesn't have to be a deep shot down the field or something crazy over middle. Sometimes a dump down pass is enough with blockers ahead to get you a first down. Here is a deep go route play, and there's a lot of traffic with a few defenders there to knock it away. See here on the replay the snap by Tufts. And the ball just died ever so slightly. If you're able to get maybe another 5 to 8 yards on that throw, that could have been a better opportunity for the receiver to make a play on the ball. Tufts, again, will take the snap under center. Looking to the right, no one there. A little bit of space and the pass behind Jamarsh. And this has been the difficulty for both teams when they've gotten close to the red zone. A few completions and hit or misses has prevented this team from putting on more points on the board. Again, both teams are able to put points back in the first quarter, and it's been a scoreless second. 3rd and 10. Tufts takes another shot near the same area. And was that caught? And now that was intercepted. What a play defensively to switch the field. And they try to go to a similar play where Tufts underthrew it, and this time results in a turnover. And over 83 for the Halifax Pirates. Again, we don't have the number of 83. We have 1 through 26. But again, that's an interception. And a timely one. But unfortunately for the Pirates, even that being interception, it prevents points going on the board for the Golden Eagles and keeps it a tie game. It's going to require a bit of an effort to close out this second quarter with not much time whatsoever on the clock. We had a missile of 3 minutes, which felt like maybe 2 or 3 minutes ago. Another handoff and pushed out of bounds. And that is halftime off of the run. As we talked about, a lot of scoring done in that first quarter. Both teams are able to score points. Starting off with the Halifax Pirates. Rushing touchdown for Marcus Nixon and the handoff in the red zone. And could not complete the 2-point try. And in the next possession, you had the Dartmouth Golden Eagles. Renez Monroe, who was the quarterback to start, threw a passing touchdown to Noah Wells. That tied at 6, and we're not able to complete the 2-point conversion. And we have a tie. And so with halftime, we'll take a break as well. We're watching this matchup between the Halifax Pirates and the Dartmouth Golden Eagles on the YouTube live stream produced by Maritime Athletic Profiles. We'll be back with second half action shortly.
I'm sure they got.
Welcome everyone back to Wickwire Field. We have the last matchup of these Coast E6 side league between the Dartmouth Golden Eagles and the Halifax Pirates. Both teams that you can see on your scoreboard, not at 6 apiece. Talked a little bit about heading into halftime. We'll mention how we got here now in the third quarter. The opening score belongs to the Halifax Pirates. They were able to get a rushing touchdown from Marcus Nixon, who's been an impact player throughout the game for Halifax Pirates. And we go over quickly to Dartmouth Golden Eagles. It was a nice throw from Renez Monroe to a touchdown through to Noah Wells, number 13. And both teams were not able to complete the 2-point tries, so we are here at 2-all. Also, there was a big play towards the end for the Halifax Pirates, which was a interception. So that's the lone turnover that both teams have had, thanks to number 83 from the Halifax Pirates. Fortunately, we don't have a number to go along with name. And that's what we have. So both teams have been able to either cause a turnover or get a turnover on downs, and it's been mostly defensive battle after the first quarter. So we'll see what both teams have up their sleeve heading into the second half to try to lay it all on the line. Let's see who will get second place in this Coastal E6 Aside League.
Finals on Sunday.
Keep in mind, folks, this is also their inaugural league. 4 different teams that have competed. Saw that earlier with the Fall River Dragons as well as the Sag Vegas Goons.
Single elimination, right? One game. Yeah.
There's a kick and a return attempt for the Dartmouth Golden Eagles. And here we go. Too much space. Can anyone catch him? And this time it might be a successful kickoff return. The start for the Dartmouth Golden Eagles. Turn on the afterburners. He is out of here. The Dartmouth Eagles open up with a kickoff return with no flags this time around.
Oh, okay. That's right.
I'm waiting. I'm a little bit nervous, but that seemed, we had this happen once before where we thought it was a kickoff return for a touchdown, but for right now, no flags, nothing. A blazing start for the Golden Eagles, and that now is a touchdown, and they'll go for a 2-point try. Man, oh man. And you could see it was on the replay, when he made the move to go right and that tackle was missed, it was all over from that point on. There was no one. When you have a kickoff return with that much space and speed, no one's going to be able to track him down. And what a touchdown by the Eagles, who have struggled a little bit. They have switched quarterbacks several times. They started off in the row, switched to Tufts, and it seems that Tufts is back, and Monroe has switched from quarterback to receiver. You have a 2 offensive mind look, a center and a left guard to the left and the right guard. And here is a handoff on the 2-point conversion to Jamarsh, and that was played easily by the Halifax Pirates defense to stop.
Got to throw it quicker than that. He's all wrapped up.
The whistle blow, the 2-point try was not successful, but the touchdown was. And you have a kickoff return touchdown, nothing more exciting than that in football. This will give the Halifax Pirates a chance to get the kickoff and how they respond after early knockout blow. You see on the replay, Marsh tackled. Trying to make the argument it was fumbled into the hands, but assuming a knee touch before that ever happened.
He was wrapped up, and I could see that Buccaneers guy coming. I go, don't light him up. Don't light him up. So I blew it, right? Yeah. Receiving team ready, kicking team ready, timer. Legal kickoff. Ball will be placed at the 40-yard line.
And so that was not a successful kickoff, and that will result in the ball being placed on the 40-yard line for the Pirates offense to come out and do some work.
No, it's this 40. Simone is all messed up.
Prolonged discussion going on as Hill tries to sort out the offense. Hill takes a look, finds a receiver open the flat, Nixon, and too far ahead of Nixon. Not sure if that was a miscommunication or simply an overthrow. We'll get a better look at it here on the replay. You see Nixon, who was on the back, a simple route out to the flat, and
no, you're staying there.
Hill couldn't get there.
That's the one I mean.
I mean, this has been a little bit of a struggle for both teams since the
procedure, only 2 men on the line.
second quarter on,
Second down.
where even though there was a touchdown to start the third quarter, that was a kickoff return touchdown. And this has not resulted in a lot of completions, and some of them have been because of tight coverage. Other times, it's just simply an overthrow. Hill, the safe check down, and flat again. And there is some laundry out in the field, a.k.a. a flag from the referee. I'm assuming either a late hit out of bounds. We'll take another look at it.
Coach!
Simple float route down the flat and a hit. Yeah, extracurricular. Yeah, going against the defense, and that's going to tack on some extra yardage.
That's all good. Thank you. Appreciate you.
This is going to set them up really nicely at the Golden Eagles' 45-yard line. Different look at center, strategically done by this Halifax Pirates offense, and handoff, but not before another flag on the field, and this may result in a few lost yards.
0. There's a flag down.
Yep, penalty go against the offense. So after getting a big penalty yard in their favor, they'll get that yardage back to help out this
Thank you, sir.
Golden Eagle defense.
Did we move the sticks? Okay, second down, please.
See some conversation going on between Mitch Tufts and Mitch Kays, who is player, coach, and also the runner of this league, who's participating with operating the sticks for this last game in the league. Hill takes it, looks, no one there. Nixon up ahead, beautifully delivered this time around. Able to make a move, and that's first down.
First down!
Similar design to that previous route earlier in this drive, except it was not connected on the right side, but they go left with it and works that time around. Two wide receivers up on the top right of your screen. Running back behind. Hill trying to go deep, but Nixon right there decides to launch it, is open. Nixon caught, and a huge crushing hit after the spectacular catch from Nixon, laying the wood. I do not know how he was able to hang on to that. I was seeing it as it was happening that Nixon was wide open. And you can see the hit here, and
Excellent
boom!
answer.
Put that in your highlight reel.
First down.
And that's clean, too. And it's even with that hit, it sets up the Halifax Pirates in the red zone as they lined up way behind the line of scrimmage.
So it's 1-1 now. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Golden Eagles defense on their heels. A handoff. Makes a move, cuts it back, goes through, volleys his way in for 6. Touchdown, Halifax Pirates, and we have a tie game here in the third quarter. See the handoff, there is not any space there. A nice jump cut made by Adam Atkinson.
Right here, sir. Right here. Thank you much. Yeah. Covered only, gentlemen.
And will either team successfully complete a 2-point try? According to last game, that we had a 2018 score, but in fact it was 18 all. Meant that there was no 2-point conversion whatsoever.
10 seconds. Five seconds.
Hill rolls out to the left, has a bit of space, throws across his bar to the opposite side of the field. There is a little bit of room. They're going to have to fight for it, and the ball is lost and caught. And that is a 2-point conversion make, but in the oddest way possible. I'm a little bit of a loss of words. We'll see the replay, but you can tell that he was not going to get there in time and got hit, but the ball just magically goes into the arms of his teammates for a 2-point try. So there you have it. The Halifax Pirates up 14-12 over the Dartmouth Golden Eagles. And also that play made by 83 also had an interception. So doing it all on defense and delivering on the offensive side of the football.
Two more, sir. One more, sir.
We've seen a few ones today, our producer and I, with unorthodox plays. We go back to that Sac Vegas Goons and Fall River Dragons play. We had the Fall River Dragons. they were playing defense, and they just absolutely had a ball that went right through the hands of a DB into a receiver and was able to go for a touchdown. And it was one of those stranger plays that you'll see.
Yeah, you guys had one as well earlier on. It's all evened up.
I'm assuming we'll probably have Maritime Athletic Profiles chop that one up and put that on the account because, well, that's 2 plays now that we've had. We just don't see, as you can see, that the kick was just taken, not even gets past to the center field line, and you'll have the Dartmouth Golden Eagles set up shop at the 40-yard line. I do love that Alexander Dalton, who just kicked it, gave it the tiniest kick you'll ever see.
Probably lower. I've been with him. Yeah, no,
The referee's having some discussion going on with the Golden Eagles offense.
I hate this kickoff. Right? What I think you guys should do is really bring it up. If you guys say you should get it or whatever. I know, sir. I know, sir. Right. Okay, I don't know what to tell you guys, okay? I don't make the rules. I try best to apply them, and they change weekly. So Bring it up, Coach. Bring it up to the powers to be.
Man, this has been a
Okay.
long. I could have taken a timeout here, but it seems after a little bit of back and forth, maybe some substitution concerns for the Golden Eagles. Waiting for the whistle.
Yeah, yeah.
And after more than enough time, we have the whistle, and here we go, live action. Monroe with the pitch. And this is dangerous territory. What a move. There's a lot of space, but a flag laundry, and that might be coming all the way back. But again, number 84 having a killing of a day. A kickoff return. And what would be a 70-yard rushing touchdown, but that flag came out quickly, and offensive line and the rest of the offense dragging their feet back. And here you can see here the play. Look at the cut here. Boom. Backups inside. And from what I've seen from this kid, if he has the slight amount of daylight, he's bursting through that door.
Hey, no.
Golden Eagles, though,
We're gonna go back
play
10.
does not matter. Wiped away from a penalty flag. They'll go back 10 yards. Unfortunately, too, is that holding play was way towards the left.
Sir.
And probably didn't need that penalty to begin with.
We saw that.
Could have let go all the way down the field, and that holding was not necessary. But that's twice that we've seen flags, call back touchdowns that should have been.
No. Okay, very good, sir. Very good. Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll keep it going. There you go, sir. Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's internet. Like, yeah. I mean, when he turns back to me, it's rough, but I mean, otherwise, things up. But yeah.
Here come the Golden Eagles again with a similar play design. Go back, and this time a tackle for a loss. Say the second time's a charm, but not so much there for the Golden Eagles offense. You'll see here very similar play design from what they did previously, and resulted in a few yards, and been a slower start to this. Well, midway through the third quarter, an explosive one with the kickoff return, and a good response from the Halifax Pirates. Monroe back, gonna chuck the ball all the way down. There is an open man, and just went over the fingertips of Romario Jarmarsh. It was so close from being 6 on the board for the Golden Eagles. And you could see that Monroe launched this bad boy, and you could see at a few lengths ahead of him. Oh, so close. And now we're down to a 3rd and long after a pass attempt that almost connected. Monroe rolls out to the right side and just short of the sticks, and you have Monroe saying there was a face mask there, and thankfully because of technology advancements, we'll be able to see this on the replay. Let's see if Monroe has a case. Yeah, there was some hands in the face mask. That should have been a penalty. And you can see the conversation between Atkinson and Monroe saying, I wasn't trying to do that on purpose. Monroe saying, doesn't matter if you're not trying to do it on purpose. You had your hands in my eyeballs. But no harm, no foul. Well, there was some harm, no foul. And we'll transition now, switching sides on the field to the fourth and final quarter, which should be an exciting finish with the Halifax Pirates up 14-12.
If you're off the line, you're good. But if you're on the line and there's another guy, then you can't go downfield, sir.
Snap. And that's a fourth down conversion. And every time you can see 84, he gets his head down and will run through anyone that is there. And simple play design, but effective. You got a few offensive linemen out there, 3, just run the ball, and no one was able to stop it. And they're keeping the big fellas out there for the Dartmouth Golden Eagles. And a flag is going to bring this back. And this is just so unfortunate. Every single time you've had 84 get a huge play, that the 2 of them that could have been touchdowns, and that was a gain of about 20 yards. And it's another flag. It's more than likely going to bring it back. Or not. No, they're going to give the first down. Okay, against the defense. Nice change of pace. Again, they're going to play some bully ball and try to get some yards in it. It's been working. They got about 5 or 6 yards.
Second down. Everybody good?
And the Dartmouth Eagles finding some momentum offensively thanks to the 3 big men up front, bulldozing their way through the defense. And the Halifax Pirates are able to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, will officially be up 2 scores. Pardon me. Dartmouth Eagles are able to get a score here. They'll put them up by a score. And the ball is up in the air. Could not bring it in. And we'll go to a 3rd and short. This was a good play design, but the safety was able to come over the top and deliver a hit to knock it out. A delayed handoff and almost lost the football, and it is fumbled on the ground, but picked up by Monroe. Monroe has some space and magically gets the first down, or very close to the sticks. We'll have to see a replay of that. The fumble was on the ground. Halifax Pirates looked like they were all over it, and miraculously the QB Monroe able to get it back. I would say that's pretty close to a first down unless his foot touched the line, and they are ruling it a first down. The sticks. Yep, so they ruled it a first down. Monroe, that's a few times he's been able to do that. That's the second time I've seen him be able to bail his offense out in tight situations. They're in the red zone. Chance to go up. A quick toss, and it's a fake. They throw it out to Jamarsh. Jamarsh trying to get his way in. He's still on his feet. He stays on and goes for 6. What an effort from the Dartmouth Golden Eagles to go up over the Halifax Pirates. We'll see the replay. And even faked us out of our shoes for a minute. The play by Jamarsh to stay on his feet, even with the Halifax Pirate on his leg. He's able to shoo it off and go in for 6. A chance now, and this would be big because the Halifax Pirates completed their 2-point conversion. If they were to go down and score, they would be at 20-18. So this is a big 2-point try for the Dartmouth Eagles, and I wonder what they will have to do here. And they only have the one center out and may bring 2 players, so they may have to get the ball out quickly. They'll only have one safety through the middle. Might be a good idea to throw that way. And they do. They throw it to the middle, and that's a 2-point try. Good. Jamarsh, who just got 6, followed it up with a 2-point conversion. It's a 20-14 ball game in favor of the Dartmouth Eagles. I said the middle of the field was open, and I think Monroe knew that as well right there. Again, you saw there, even pre-snap looking at the coverage, you saw that there wasn't much protection in the middle of the field. And if you're going to leave that open, then I think you're more likely going to get scored on. So now the Halifax Pirates will have to try and not only tie this game, but try and regain the lead. Tying game at half. A huge kickoff return to put the Golden Eagles on top. Didn't get the 2-point try. And the Halifax Pirates come down and score. And finally, that previous play from the Dartmouth Golden Eagles gives them a 20-14 advantage. So 2 passing touchdowns for Renez Monroe. Reception touchdown for Romario Jamarsh, as well as Noah Wells, who had it back in the first quarter. And again, for the Halifax Pirates, they've had rushing touchdowns from Marcus Nixon back in the first quarter and Adam Atkinson in the third quarter. One thing about league football, which is always fun, is that you get to witness these conversations, hear them from all the way up here. Some conversations with the refs, the linesmen, all in good fun. Pirates are in crunch time as they need to get a score here sooner rather than later. And the handoff only nets about 3 yards. Free snap, running back to the right, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Running back sits there. And there's a tackle near the original line of scrimmage. Gets us to a 3rd down after. They're going to get forward progress on that, so gain of about 2 or 3 yards. You can even hear that's the defense or Mario Jamar saying they're a little generous with the yards, don't you think? I have no dog in this fight, but I agree a little bit. Hill. And that's too far ahead for Nixon. And Nixon has been at least targeted 4 times, and he may have gotten only 2 of them. Hill not on the same page with Nixon. And this brings up a 4th and short. In a way, your playbook is open for anything, and then it's not so. And you have to come up with something that is going to result in open yards. And probably the biggest thing they can do right now just to get to the sticks is have a few slot back receivers. As you hear the whistle, and time is winding down. They have 3 wide receivers to the right. This might be a screen pass or a handoff, and it is a handoff that gets the yards they need. And coming in like a speeding bullet, Mitch Tufts to deliver the final blow on Nixon to bring him down, and that gets a first down, so that's enough. You'll see Tufts on the left of your screen just come in like a bullet. Fakes the handoff. Nixon, open again. He's wide open down the sideline, but gives a quick check down, and there's a flag. And you can even see Nixon saying I was wide open. You're tough saying they're scared of little old me. Well, he delivered a hit though. I will say Tufts in the safety right now. If you come over the top, he's going to hit you. And that was a penalty, so that brings back the Halifax Pirates. Again, not much time remaining in this game. It is close to being over. And there is a catch, and the yards after it are what you need. They get back the first down yardage and a little bit more on top. Here come the Halifax Pirates. Mackay Hill looking, trying to fire, does have an open man, finally comes, and here's a move, has some space, goes all the way with it, does he? Touchdown! No, just short. The ruling it just short, it was close. But the Halifax Pirates will have to hurry up. And we look like we do have a Pirate down, so we'll step aside, take a quick break, and bring you back with the wrap-up of this fourth quarter here inside the Wick Wire Field, located on the Dartmouth. Look on the Dalhousie campus. We'll be back. More coverage in just a moment.
Gentlemen, water out, helmets on. That's all, gentlemen. 142, sir. Gentlemen.
And welcome back here, folks. A little bit of delay due to an injury, but here we have the Halifax Pirates. They go with the handoff fake. And here as they pass down the opposite side, and unfortunately, Aiden Marshall caught it, but lost some yards as he fell to his knee. And here we have second down. Halifax Pirates are just a score away from tying it, but they would need the 2-point try to get it over the Dartmouth Golden Eagles. Here's a snap, looking. Hill has a lot of time to throw. No one available, and finally comes unglued, and that is a touchdown for the Halifax Pirates. Mikhail Hill giving a little bit of flex over to the sideline. Mikhail Hill, I believe, who gets it on the play. We'll know here in a moment. Number 83, I believe, so he's had a really good game. An interception, a 2-point try, now a receiving touchdown. Hill has a chance to put the Pirates up by 2. Has a lot of time to survey the field. Can they do it here late to get the lead back? And you can just see Hill standing there, has all day. He might have a chance to put a lawn chair out there to how long he's waiting for a receiver to get open. He's just standing there at this point. Literally just standing there. He looked over the sideline, wasn't sure what to do. Fires it, and that is wide open. And that is good for a 2-point try. No. They're saying it was out of bounds. No good. The 2-point try does not work. And it is still a tie game at 20-all. You can see initially way so much time. And I don't know.
Well, we haven't run it as a timer. Yeah, 53 seconds. Sir.
Interesting way, and we're deep into this fourth quarter.
I don't know. I just ref, sir. I don't know.
As the last game did end in a tie.
But I'm not sure. I wouldn't put money on that. All right, you guys see it? I don't know. I don't know what it is.
And the Dartmouth Eagles, you can see right before telling the kicker, make sure to kick it to me, is Alexander Dalton getting a little bit of a talking to. And I think the best thing if you're Halifax Pirates is to kick and have them set up at the 40. You don't want to take a chance of having this get returned for a touchdown, especially when you had that situation happen to open up the third quarter with a kickoff return that put up the Dartmouth Golden Eagles up by a score.
Small, we good? Receiving team ready, kicking team ready, timer.
Oh, it looks like they are going to go for a kick. And have a chance to take this out. And trying to change the gears and the speed. Has a little bit of space on the outside. And still on his feet and finally brought down. And that was a nice kickoff return. And an even better play from Halifax defender Matthew Velacci. But this gives the Dartmouth Golden Eagles a chance to run a few plays to try and win this ball game.
Seconds, 4-3. Seconds.
Monroe takes a deep shot. There is an open man and went through the hands. And it was so close as Halifax Pirate back there a little slow to get up.
I'm looking at 35 seconds. 35, 35 on the snap.
There we go, another chance for the Dartmouth Golden Eagles. Snap from Monroe, hands it off. It is bobbled. And this is where 84 can operate at a high level. Cuts back inside and tackled down. Does get the first down. And a timeout taken by the Halifax Pirates.
23, 2, 3. Yeah. He's keeping track of that. Yeah. That was the first, right? And that was it back.
Drama in this game is high.
All good, Gino? All right, big man. Got your win back? You got your win back?
Oh,
now?
yeah.
Yeah.
I had time to recover from that.
Oh, yeah. Big boy to light. I'm sure you did. As long as you're all right, that's all that matters, sir. You guys are ready, Dartmouth? Yeah. Halifax, you ready?
So out of the timeout, Renez Monroe with a chance after getting the first down to try and send their team home with a victory, as both teams are tied to try and finish second place. And here's a handoff. Monroe tries to get other blockers. 84 been such a dynamic ball player, has too much space down the sideline, and that is going to be a score for the Dartmouth Golden Eagles late. My, oh my. What a performance from Monroe as well as 84. We'll have to talk to them after the game because they have been just superstars tonight.
13 seconds, 1-3. Covered only.
So now a chance for a 2-point try that would only still keep them up by a score. And so late in this fourth quarter, I do not know if the Halifax Pirates will have a last gasp or attempt. Monroe fires down the middle, trying to look for Jamarsh. Incomplete.
Big man was all alone. Yeah. Gotta give the big guys a pass once in a while, right? 13 seconds, 1-3. 13 seconds, coach, 1-3. Auburn kicking. Sorry, Dartmouth. Yeah. I know. Halifax. You're missing one.
And a little bit of delay before we have a kickoff. You see the replay of that go-ahead touchdown score here late, and amazingly, both teams have put on a high-level performance. And to put that into perspective, you have the Dartmouth Golden Eagles only scored 6 points in the first half. They have scored 20. And the same thing for the Halifax Pirates, only at 6. They're both tied at the half and scored 14. So this has been an electrifying second half of football. But someone has to come up with a win. And a flag, I will set up the Halifax Pirates at the 40-yard line.
Seconds, sir.
So I'm hearing 13 seconds on the field. That's all the time that there is for the Halifax Pirates. So there just isn't much. "13 seconds for the Halifax Pirates to try and keep their season alive." Mackay Hill had a late drive. A kick pass, trying to get the first down and stop before the first down marker.
7 seconds.
Now 11 seconds left. And a timeout taken by the Pirates to kill the clock.
Buccaneers.
So they should have about 11 or 10 seconds, and they'll both go to their respective benches to try and talk about plays.
7 seconds, go.
Now the timeout. Pirates have to dig deep in the playbook to give something the Dartmouth Golden Eagles haven't seen quite yet. And what I will say has worked a lot of the time for the Halifax Pirates is that they have their running back, Marcus Nixon, run on a wheel route. That has worked a lot more times than none. I don't see that as an option here on this play. Ja'Kai Hill, pressure comes, his knee hits the ground. And there's a little bit of a scuffle and fight for the ball. And tempers are a little bit high here towards the end. As Tufts, that insult to injury, says you're too little. Not only does it once, but twice for good measure. And Tufts, he's backed it up today. He's had to do a little bit of everything as a safety and situationally come in as a quarterback from time to time. We shouldn't have that much time left. This might be the last play of the game. 4 seconds. For all the marbles. Ja'Kai Hill has space out to the left side and a flag. That's going to bring it all the way back, holding. As Ja'Kai Hill trying to get blocks, waiting, and gets hit.
Hold up. Unnecessary roughness. Hit to the head, number 2.
So there is unnecessary roughness going against the defense, so that's going to move the offense up the field. And they should have another chance at it with no time left on the clock.
Up 15.
I was saying another play, so there's one more play. So that penalty, depending on the result of this play, could be very costly for this Dartmouth Golden Eagles team that, not to pun intended, has a golden opportunity to come up with a victory. And the victory would help them finish second place in this Coastal East 6-a-side league. Hill with a chance, last chance, looking down left. A lot of time to make a decision. He's going to wait for everyone to get down near the goal line and then chuck it up. And you could see Marshall didn't know what to do and just put his hands up as Hill, just waiting for everyone to get down there. And you can even see the ref folded his arms waiting on the last play. Hands on hips and everything. I mean, at some time this has got to end, and you could see there's some pressure that's going to be put on. And finally there is. It's a deep shot down the field, and that was almost picked off, but that is going to do it. The Dartmouth Golden Eagles finish second place and get a victory over the Halifax Pirates 26-20, as we have so much more to cover here in the post-game show. We should be able to get a few interviews with the winning team to finish second in the Coastal East 6-a-side league. We should be back with more coverage. Do not go anywhere. It's post-game show coming right up.
Cool.
Hi everyone, I'm here with Jordan Kierstead, the quarterback for the Dartmouth Golden Eagles. Jordan, heck of a game. So you head into halftime 6-6 and you had an offensive explosion. What changed in that second half for you guys?
I think we decided to start running the ball a little more instead of passing as much, and got things rolling a little better. And we ran a few kickoffs back, so I think that really turned the tides for us.
And talking about a few of your teammates, just what does it mean to get a win here? It was a tough league that you guys played in, but being able to finish in second place, what does this win mean for you guys?
I think it's pretty amazing, actually, because it's been back and forth for a lot of the games this year, so it's nice to finish in second place instead of the bottom of the league.
No doubt about it. And when you talk about playing this league, just what has the experience in this league just meant for you and your teammates, if you're able to put into words?
To me, I just love playing football, so this is just some extra time on the field for me, some extra time with my teammates, so it's nice to be out here with the boys.
And the last question for you, I always wonder about like what gets athletes involved in sports. Can you maybe point to someone in your life that maybe motivated you or pushed you in sports, maybe a figure that just motivated you to want to play?
My dad, I'd have to say. He really got me interested in football. He played football when he was younger, and so I'd probably say him. He's my biggest inspiration for football.
Well, Jordan, appreciate the time stopping by. Go celebrate with your team. Great win today.
Yeah,
thank you.
man.
Appreciate the time.
Have a good one.
Good one. As Jordan, we still have more upcoming in the post-game coverage, so make sure to stay tuned. We'll be back with one more player, and then we'll sign off. Welcome back here to more post-game coverage. Here is Landon Keats. So we found out the mystery number for number 84. Landon, it was a really great day for you. Had a few kickoff returns, actually one that was called back initially. Can you talk about what worked out you out there in the field?
Man, just all the work we put in the offseason just kind of paid off today. All the running training and all that just happened to work out in our favor, and having to get a little bit of wind under my step and get a couple touchdowns today, so felt good.
And it was a tight one down the stretch. Tie game, and you're able to pull off the victory down late. How did it feel to go up ahead late in the fourth quarter?
Man, it felt good. I was expecting us to be a little bit better on the defensive end, but it's all good. We'll get them next time. And it felt good to get up at the end after they had tied up the game and get a touchdown to win the game. Felt great, man. It just feels like all the hard work's paying off, and can't wait to do it again.
Sounds good. And also, with this win, it puts you finishing second in the league. What does that mean to you and this team? I know football this late, it's always tough and grueling, but for that work to pay off and finish in second place, what does it mean for yourself and the team?
Man, it feels great. Obviously, we wanted that number 1 spot, but there's always room for improvement, and I'm just grateful to be in this number 2 spot and make playoffs and come back even harder next week.
And last question before I let you go celebrate with your teammates. I always ask players what got them motivated to playing football. Is there a specific person or someone that you idolize that wanted you to get into the sport of football?
To be honest, it wasn't really anyone in particular. I was always a basketball player growing up, and then once I got into my freshman year of high school, I started watching a little bit of football, and I really like Michael Thomas, the receiver. I kind of want to be like him, so decided to try out, and here we are today.
Saints fan?
No, I'm an Eagles fan, but
I'm Eagles fan too, so that's what I'm talking
nice,
about.
man, yeah.
All right. Well, Landon, thanks you so much for stopping by. We'll let you go celebrate your team, but appreciate the time.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. That was Landon Keats from the Dartmouth Golden Eagles, and that is going to wrap up post-game coverage. We have the Dartmouth Golden Eagles finishing 2nd place in this league. And for myself, Connor McKinnon, this will be a sign-off and a quick shout out to Maritime Athletic Profiles for everything you're doing, being able to cover this event. And that'll be it. Until next time, everybody.